everyone. My name is Projeni Pather, and I am the chairperson of AAXO, the Association of African Exhibition Organizers. Thank you for listening in on our Agile Leadership series. At AAXO, we're extremely grateful for the amazing leadership we have in our industry. And in our efforts to learn, inspire, and lead the way, we've been interviewing many of the leaders in our industry to help you in these trying times, because they have so much to share. Today, I have the privilege to be joined by Dalton, and Anne is the event manager at Agri Expo. Anne has years of experience in the exhibition industry and is very passionate about the industry sector which she serves. And she's led in the space with great passion and agility. So a very warm welcome to you, Anne. To start with, please tell us how you got into this space and what's the years been like since you've started and how it's all unfolded?
All right. Well, I came into the industry basically through my passion of my hobby of being involved with agriculture and particularly in the equestrian side. And I used to help out at the Cape of Good Hope Agricultural Society, which were the owners of the Goodwood Showground, and who are now known as Agri Expo today. So basically, I used to volunteer and run the equestrian show at the yearly annual agricultural show. And then we sold Goodwood Showgrounds to Grand West Casino, Sun International, okay? Mm-hmm. And we bought an office block in Durbanville. And we've had to change and gear down and say, what are we going to do? I then joined Agri Expo full time. It was in '96, okay? And our mission is basically to promote agriculture and keep agriculture of a certain standard, keep it up there, promoting it to the public and making them understand what's important about why they need agriculture. And we do that, apart from doing workshops and seminars, our biggest way that we go about it is to run expos and festivals and shows with the main thing being agriculture. Yes, it's a lot of fun, but it's agriculture. Agriculture is our main point.
So how have you seen that landscape change from 1986, did you say, right?
1996, not that old.
From 1996, it's 24 years now. How have you seen that landscape change in the world of agriculture?
It's worldwide. It's been a very similar path. If you look at, because we belong to the Royal Agricultural Society of the Commonwealth, okay, and everyone has had the same problem. As we've sort of gone from being just a small town with sort of one-on-one shops, and the malls have grown, okay, and they've become bigger. The need for the agricultural show in the bigger towns has fallen away, because we used to have all these shops in the halls, you know, but now you've got the malls, so people don't do agriculture as such. So we've had to go in and be more specialized, much more specialized, and we see it worldwide happening. People are starting to look at different ways. So we now we concentrate on certain industries, dairy, wine, and the racehorse breeding industry has come to us as well with quite a strong concentration there. So those are our main events as such that we use, whether we do competitions, expos, but it's been much more concentrated. People are looking for specialist ideas, and it's not just the flea markets that used to happen. So yeah, that's what we found as a definite change, which is why we've done the Cheese Festival, which is now will be 20 years, would have been 20 years this year, 21 next year. So that's a long time for an expo. We haven't quite caught up to Decorex yet, but we're getting there.
You definitely.
Yeah, it's a change, and now we're going to have to swing it a totally different way and see what happens. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, completely. Now, what has been your greatest challenge during this whole crisis?
Well, I think the biggest challenge, which has been everyone's challenge, is a financial challenge. Okay. We have been very lucky, but we've had to be very careful because we've really looked to keep all our staff, and to date, we've been lucky enough to keep all our staff on and earning. Yes, they are now working, but not to the full. We're not doing the expos that we need to. So we virtually got no income coming in. So, but our council, that we call it a board of directors or what, but we're a society, so we're driven by a council. They've been fantastic and have said, fine, you know, we are working. And the biggest challenge from a staff point of view is now to keep everyone motivated and positive. I think to be positive in a situation like this, when we hear about stories about our suppliers, it's very, very difficult. And to keep people motivated, where are we going, what's going to happen? No one knows. That's our challenge, I think, obviously.
Yeah. But I think, we chatted earlier, you were thrown into the swing of things right at the beginning when you had Cheese Festival. Immediately when we went into lockdowns, the one event that everybody looked forward to, I mean, having such a history of 20 years, was so awesome. And you had already probably done all your marketing and everything was set in place, ready to go, and you were shut down. So you guys went online, right?
Yeah, we did. We were actually, prior to Cheese Festival, we had the South African Dairy Championships, which is a trade competition of all the dairy industry, all the different products from cheeses to milks and everything. And we had run the competition, and on the 26th of March, we were due to do this massive big gala dinner where we announce the awards to the whole industry and to the retail industry, obviously. And we said, hey, that we can't, it wasn't official lockdown. So what we did is we advised everyone and we did that virtually. So that was our first virtual story, where we did the awards on the day of the 26th of March. And we did a whole recording of the presentation, and we used Facebook where so we kept it short, which is normally it's a whole evening. So we used Facebook together with this virtual show, and that went down extremely well. So our communications manager did a fantastic job there, and Isabel Buerta, yeah. So we were ready for Cheese to think how we were going to handle it. And I think we were very lucky handling it at the time we did, because it was strict lockdown. We got a very good buy-in from a lot of our exhibitors to assist. We obviously had to, because most of the people have paid up and everything, and they're very small. Some of the exhibitors are small, so we had to pass credits on the whole to musicians had been booked and all of that. So, but there was a great buy-in for a carryover for 21. We did a whole weekend show, which I don't think would go down that well. We used Facebook as our medium, where we posted a time, and we had live shows from musicians for a 45-minute slot where people could view, and we had a great, really great buy-in. I mean, our cooking sessions, our wine tasting sessions, 2,000 odd people that, you know, watching and viewing over that weekend. Obviously not all of them in that actual time, but we allowed them to go back and view. And we got a very good footprint there. We were very, very happy with that. I don't know that it'll work today.
That is truly remarkable. I suppose that one of the advantages were that it was still fresh.
Absolutely.
People were waiting. They were really waiting to come to Cheese Festival. The plans had been made. But the great thing was that's great leadership, because you were able to put everything together, still manage everybody's expectations and give them something, you know, and that is remarkable.
What went down well was the interaction. We ran competitions, cheese carving competitions, which we do here on, you know, at the normal festival, but we had them do it at home and send photographs of the entries. We did cheese platters. So people spent the weekend still slightly involved with the cheese festival, you know, feeling that they were part of it. So
Yeah.
that went down well.
That must have been amazing. Now, tell me, I mean, that's something you can definitely be proud of, but is there anything else that your organization's done over the past few months since then that you feel, despite the circumstances, that you're really proud of the team as a whole?
Yeah, well, team being absolute, because I mean, we've got a small team, but a really, really involved and professional team. We were very lucky there. Yeah, so we were extremely proud of the two live events that we did. But as well as that, as I said, we promote agriculture. So we had all these cheesemakers, small cheesemakers that we normally at Cheese Festival, we bring them in, we sponsor them with the help of the Department of Agriculture. So we couldn't just let them, I mean, they didn't have a means to market themselves, which is what they normally did at Cheese Festival. So what we've done, and I say we, our communications manager has really worked. I mean, my department got all the information and photographs. We went to each cheesemaker, and we asked them to tell the story about how they make the cheese, who makes the cheese. And we've done probably a 10-minute slot on each company and showing the public round the back. And we've had some very good feedback from suppliers out in the Karoo who've said they've had orders. People are still, so a lot of them have learned to go online and are taking orders online, and it's been a great thing. And I really take my hat off to Isabeau and her team on the communication side. They've been fantastic with that. So that was a good thing. You can see it still on our Facebook page and website. It's great.
We'll definitely go and have a look. That is really, really clever. I mean, that's clever thinking. I think that's what's so wonderful about this crisis at the same time, as bad as it is, it's forced us to look deeper at the opportunities that exist that we wouldn't have had time to do otherwise. I mean, you know, our industry, we constantly doing and organizing and planning for that live activation all the time. So given those kind of exciting opportunities that you've had, do you think those are the kind of things that will stay after we get back to normal? Those will still remain and enhance the business?
I don't think it will be the only way to go, because as we can see already, people are getting tired of the online picture. They want the real interaction. But I think it's a very good way to do a hybrid of the two. Okay, a live expo or auction or whatever, but we've learned a lot on how to do the virtual scene and to interact that way. I mean, who would have said all these Zoom meetings? I mean, it's made us communicate a lot more. Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
It definitely has. And you mentioned earlier that you're planning another event coming up soon along the similar lines?
Yeah, we have an event coming up in October, which we call Livestock. It's a trade and consumer show, which is livestock, and then we say Die Groot Plaasproe, which is basically taste the life of the farm. Okay, now that initially we thought, and we had wonderful ideas, we were going to do this whole live virtual showing of the animals and the whole, but we've seen there've been so many events similar to that live events, people aren't going to buy into it. So what we've done is we've gone out there to see where the need is. We work very closely with the Department of Agriculture, and it looks like we're going to do, we'll do one dinner, well, it won't be a dinner, it'll be an awards evening virtual recording of this virtual awards ceremony for the master dairymen, okay, which they run a competition through the year. And then we're going to go out to different areas, smaller towns, Clanwilliam, Grassy Park, I can't remember where the third place, but another smaller area where we can go. And we'll do an information day, information on goats, or information beef day, or pig farming, or something like that. And we'll have the participation of probably about 40 to 30 people with the information day. and then we'll record it live, and people will be able to see the interaction. So it'll be a virtual training base as well as interaction from live people. So I think that'll be very interesting to see how that goes.
That will be wonderful. And
yeah,
we'll be working very hard on our side. I promise to try and make those numbers go up beyond the 50. So that
we'll need it for our event in November. We've got an auction happening in November. And if we can have more than 50 people, that would be great. Because, we are doing a hybrid event where we'll have online auctioning, but obviously it'd be nice to have real people at the auction.
Absolutely. Well, working hard behind the scenes. So let's hope that comes through soon. Besides your business directly, I mean, you've been watching and aware of what everybody's doing in the industry. Do you think there's any positives that has come out for our industry as a whole from this pandemic?
It's difficult to say as far as the actual event industry. Yes, it's taught us to look and to widen and look out the box and see how we can do that. But I think the main thing, and I said it as a joke earlier, is the communication. I've spoken to people in our industry, other organizers, hearing from AAXO. I think that interaction and everyone working together has been, to me, and your events council, where you've brought in all the different associations, that to me is the biggest spin that has been positive for us, because there isn't very much positive in this time, unfortunately.
No, you're absolutely right. I think it's forced us to collaborate, and that's what's important for this time.
See the bigger picture.
See the bigger picture, which we can all benefit from in the long term. And I think it's important for us to keep that going thereafter, so that we can fight the bigger causes together for the benefit of the industry as a whole. And besides that, given your experience from going online in so many instances, like you've spoken about, and with your team and learning along the way, what advice would you give to other event planners and organizers right now who want to take their events online?
I think the first thing is to don't try and replicate your event as a virtual event. It's not going to work. You've got to look for what the people out there need, either the industry out there needs, and not, you mustn't sort of, I'm missing my event, but I can do it virtually. You must look at what the need is out there, and keep, whatever you do, keep it short, particularly webinars and sessions. I mean, we're so over all these webinars, and it's actually become a bit depressing in some instances. But yeah, I would say look at what the need is out there. What are people looking to do? And we have these virtual exhibitions, which are great if the industry that you're doing and targeting it for is going to participate, because your exhibitors are putting a lot of effort into it. And just make sure that the industry you're aiming at can participate. I mean, it's not going to help, I don't think, for us to go out there and expect all the farmers to come in and sit and watch a long event happening, okay? Whereas maybe in the mining industry or whatever, the need is there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
understanding,
keep it short.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we sit way too long on our chairs in front of our computers.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting. And you're right. And I mean, like, if you look at your industry and the farming industry, and those people are used to being out and about, and for them now to be sitting for a whole day in front of their desks, that's completely different. But yeah, it all depends on the industry. Agreed. That is so true. We are all zoomed out.
Yeah.
But Anne, what do you do in the meantime to look after yourself during all of this? I mean, as an organizer and leader, one of the leaders in our industry, and having been, leading your industry sector for so many years, how are you looking after yourself through all of this?
Well, I'm in a very, very fortunate position, okay, in that I live on the society's farm, Sandringham, okay. My husband and I stay here, and it's, you know, during lockdown was hard lockdown. We could still go for walks on our farm. You know, that was great. And we now have our team back on the farm. So yes, I'm working from an office because I'm told I'm too old to go back to to the office. So I'm working here in a home office as such. But I still get to interact and go out on the farm, and it's great. And I have a personal hobby where I do a bit of painting and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just keep healthy, be positive, try and be positive as much as you can.
Absolutely, because I suppose what you do and how you look after yourself affects the people you work with as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the main, and you. That's one of the biggest things. You can have a great team, but if they're all going to depression, so it's look after your asset. Look, keep things positive. Motivate them. Yeah.
And we're such a service-related industry. We just, you know, our people are our products. You know, that's how we deliver it.
Yeah, it's very difficult as an organizer. I'm very lucky. You know, I'm an organizer with a company who does more than just events. But if I look at my suppliers, that to stay positive, and you see your best friends as such just struggling. I mean, the AV guys, on that side, you know, the security teams, it's horrific.
It really is. And it seems, you know, we're going down that route where everybody's starting to open, and we hope that we're not the forgotten industry that's still going to be hanging out, because yes, parts of tourism have opened, interprovincial tourism's open, so those kind of sectors have opened, and because we still fall under that tourism umbrella, but we on the conferencing and event side, we somehow getting forgotten. So we have to really continue the struggle and scream out loud, because we really do ignite business in the country, in so many industry sectors, right?
Absolutely, right across the board, yeah.
Right across the board. So on a last note, what advice would you give to other leaders in the industry right now from your personal experiences?
Look at, you know, as I said, be positive. Be very, very selective of what you're going to, some of these webinars that are out there. Don't try and sit in front and see how bad life is out there. Be positive. Yeah. As our CEO says, quality is much more important than quantity. You can't be creative if you're negative.
Yeah.
So we've got to think our way out of this hole that we're in and get back to, we've got to be positive. So it's not very constructive what I'm saying, but I do think it's the base of what drives everything.
No, exactly. No, you're so true. It's the simplicity of it that we take for granted, being positive. And many people you've seen around you, and we've all seen it, whether they're in our friend circles or family circles or work circles, there's a degree of anxiety and depression right now. And those simple words of being positive can be so meaningful in so many ways. And it's how we try and extend that positivity as leaders, I think. And that's exactly what you're doing, working with your team, sharing that positivity with your team. And I think sharing that positivity and keeping the communication with the clients that you work with as well. And right. And that can be so meaningful going down the line to you and your business. So we appreciate that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you so very much for your time today.
And I want to say an extremely big thank you to you personally for all the effort that you've been putting into getting our industry back. It really, really means a lot.
And thank you so much for your time and insights into business at Agri Expo. To all of you that have been listening in, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your support to the industry. And be sure to catch us for the rest of our Agile Leadership series in the weeks to come, as we'll be interviewing many more leaders who will be sure to inspire, support, and assist you in your journey ahead. I'm Projeni Pather, and I'm the chairperson of AAXO.